SNS makes our lives happy because it connects with people. For example, KakaoTalk has a function which includes making talk room that many people can chat each other. In case of in case of me, I often exchange opinions on school projects or assignments with that function. Also, Facebook connects friends and acquaintances who haven't seen for a long time with me, and it has a function of broadcasting some news in real time before they are reported in news. For example, 2 years ago, Seoul, especially Gangnam, got flooded seriously. For that moment, some citizens took pictures of situations of city and uploaded them on their Facebook and Twitter. And people saw their websites and shared them with their knowns. Finally, information in real time spreaded, so it is an example that SNS can do as a role of spreading and connection.
You said SNS is a place for communication and connection with many people. And you mentioned that SNS can promote friendship referring to some kinds of SNS. But I think communication and connection in SNS is far from sincerity. Although I agree that SNS makes us communicate each other. In my experience, I could use it only for trivial chatting with groups of people. And it is hard to converse genuinely with people with SNS. It is not communication in the true meaning of the word. Moreover, about connection, SNS just plays a role of information delivery without emotions among people. And I cannot deny the fact that I could build networks of friendship and have a wide acquaintance with SNS Facebook friends. But if you think about the friends you added in Facebook or any SNS, there are so many people that you don't actually know or keep in touch frequently. It is not connection in the true meaning of the word. It is just unsubstantial networks. A professor in MIT, the Professor Seritoko, said, conversations in SNS don't progress in the deep level, just staying at superficial level. Furthermore, in one survey of university students, they have a bad impression toward SNS because it can also be places not for communication, but malicious messages and uncensored information pervade. In the case of Immune Tech, member of Ulala session, suffered from vicious rumor and groundless blames that actually he didn't contract the disease, not only before his death, but after his death. Last year in Twitter, unproven fact that certain political party interfered with other parties' election spread it. So SNS served as criticizing someone.
Oh, you said communication and connection with SNS is far from sincerity. And you said there is a problem that SNS is used in a bad way. Of course, SNS is somewhat far from sincerity because it is not focused on man-to-man relationships. But I think connection in here means some mediators that causes people to develop sincere relationships. I didn't intend connection includes or equals to sincerity, and it's of the individual effort in substance. You can only communicate with your genuine friend and curtail meaningless network by reducing unnecessary friend addition. In case of KakaoTalk, there's no reason that you lose sincerity if we use it wisely. In my experience, I often advised and talked together with my friends sincerely. Besides, some people intelligently use this tool in a desirable way. For example, many people took pictures of election certification in the voting period, so they encourage citizens to vote. Park Won-sun, mayor of Seoul, periodically checked and canvassed the public through Twitter. In addition, people's revolutions in Middle East have some examples that SNS helped to progress another step. SNS can improve efficiency of work and refresh your lifestyles. A lot of companies use SNS in a marketing method, and office workers work with SNS with like advertising and promotion. According to a survey by Korea Internet and Security Agency, main usage motivation is a kind of leisure and entertaining, and we know most people use SNS because of joyful feature.
You said SNS has various right function and make us live a life affluently so long as we use it smartly. But we can't completely ignore bad influences. It could make individual life go through misfortune rather than happiness. There are several examples I can support. First, KakaoTalk. Bullying happens occasionally, and verbal violence through KakaoTalk actually brought about suicide of a high school student. Also, in Facebook, implied comparison in academic ability becomes modest boasting. Addiction 2. Addiction must be discussed. Most of people who use SNS are easily captivated, and individual life is impoverished, according to the Professor Hoffman from University of Chicago. The professor said addiction to SNS is stronger than cigarette and alcohol. Also, according to the Professor Roland Planck from the University of California research, he said SNS easily makes people SNS obsessive. If addiction becomes more serious, people will be likely to waste their time and be unhealthy, such as falling of eyesight, accumulation of fatigue, and loss of concentration. Finally, SNS impoverished our lives.
Oh, there are many drawbacks about SNS that I haven't expected. Some bad influences are relevant to me. Come to think of it, SNS is a double-edged sword, but completely not using it couldn't be possible. So it's important that we use it wisely, set the exact time using SNS, and we turn using and contacting to friends with SNS to direct meeting. And we replace time using SNS to reading books or biking and so on.
Yeah, I think it is the most important for people to change their attitudes toward SNS.